that Marina Cornwall, Marina Cornwall.
Let's do it, Marina! First of all, we're going to take your leg out to the side. You want to tense the muscle, show the muscles in definition. We're going to do a front double bicep, and then just twist your wrist a little bit towards the rear, which will pop your bicep a bit more. Good. From there, just switch feet. We're going to go into lat spread. So imagine that the judges are down there. So lean back very slightly. Make your waist smaller. You don't want any creases in your skin. Very good. Excellent. From there, don't forget to pop your leg as well. So be on tiptoes, showing your calf. From there, we're going to go into side chest. So turn side on. Again, you can have one leg ahead of the other. You can have it like this. Or, yeah. So we'll do it like this. And then you're going to bring your hand, one hand on top of the other, and then push down with your left hand on your right, pull it back. So you need to be side on so that they can see your chest and the definition in your tricep and bicep. From there we'll go switch into tricep. So you're going to pull that arm down with the other left hand, and you would give them a little show, 1, 2. Show the definition in the muscle group. From there, we're going to switch to the rear. So we're going to give them a rear double bicep. Again, imagine the judges are down there, so down the bottom, because they're in a pit normally. So you'd lean back slightly so they're looking up your body. Good. From there, move your arms. We're going to go into lat spread. So no creases, lean back a little bit. Good. Don't forget your legs. Good. And from there, you turn around. Obviously, there'll be a smooth transition between those poses. That's why Arnold did ballet. And then this one is the worst one. You push your arms against your head, take a breath, and then blow all the air out. So it's keep blowing. There we go. The 7 poses.
Amazing.
Quite hard work.
That is hard work. Marina, thank you so much for seeing me today and showing me how to pose. I'm really happy that I can meet you today after how many years? 2-3 years?
Many years now.
Many years. I think we met in Easy Gym, or is it the gym group, when I first started my personal training career. We hopped to different gyms, but we stayed in contact throughout that time.
Which is nice.
I've been watching you go to different competitions, like powerlifting competitions online and bodybuilding. So just tell me a little bit about that, and how have you got into powerlifting and bodybuilding? What's your journey?
It's quite a journey actually. I'll tell you about how I sort of started and how I got into bodybuilding and then on to powerlifting. Funnily, going back to the sport that I started at school. So it's a bit of a journey. So I was always a runner from school, like a sprinter, not a distance runner. And then I used to go to aerobic classes, and I used to train at the cricket ground in Southampton. We had quite a tough trainer, a lady called Jan Thomas, and so I started doing her classes there.
Yeah.
I wasn't a PT then, and I really enjoyed sort of just really keeping fit, and the running I absolutely loved. And then what happened?
Was that when you fell in love with fitness initially during the classes?
Yeah, I did, and I just really enjoyed. It was quite nice to be part of a group as well, I think.
Yeah.
And a bit of a community.
Everyone's a bit competitive,
Yes.
friendly competition, and who
Yeah.
can do what and who can do this better. And
Yeah, that's it. And then I met my husband. I was managing a pub at the time in Otterbourne, and so I was working about 50 hours a week, living above the premises as a manageress. And I met my husband, and then I kind of had to move out the pub because we decided to get together and have like a relationship. And he wasn't a gym goer or anything like that. He loved anything to do with outside, boats and golf and everything like that. So we had different interests in sports.
yeah.
Anyway, I carried on with my aerobic classes, and sadly, we were together 10 years, but then sadly he cheated on me, and then we split. And I was still going to Jan's classes, and she knew how hard I used to train in the class, and she kind of started picking on me a bit, saying you could do better than this. A nice form of.
Do you like a tough coach, or do you not?
Yeah,
I
do.
I like a tough coach.
Yeah, I like a tough coach. I don't want to be, mothered in any way or anything like that. No. So she was hardcore, and I'm a hardcore trainer. And so I then used to actually go into the change room and cry my eyes out because she was kind of softly bullying me, if you like, because she just knew I could do better. And then I just had to have that conversation. Jan, I'm sorry, really sorry. I'm going through a divorce. I'm losing weight. Can't really focus. I don't feel like I got the strength like I used to. So she was really sweet and sort of said, "Don't worry about the weight, Marina. Your weight will come back on. Just focus on your training."
Was the aerobics competitive? Was you going into competitions for it?
No, not that. I've just attended.
So she was just pushing you for the reason. Oh, okay.
Yeah, which was good. And she used to do sort of some live shows where we all did some sort of dancing. But yeah, no, it wasn't competitive aerobics or anything like that. And so she gave me the best advice ever, like throw yourself into fitness, don't worry about the weight, that'll come back on. And that's what I did. I started lifting weights. And so I didn't really start lifting weights to my 30s, really. So, it was new to me. And I started really enjoying that. And I used to love.
Was that weightlifting or bodybuilding or powerlifting? Was it a mixture?
It was sort of just bodybuilding then.
Oh, okay.
And then I used to love the Gladiators, the show, which I'm so pleased it's come back on now. And I decided I was going to compete as a contender. So there was the trial outs at the Bournemouth Little Down Centre. So you had to. It was really pretty grueling testing. So you had to run 800 meters in 3 minutes. So your treadmill was going at 18.5. Right. And men had to do it in 2.5 minutes. So you would be running at 21.5. And then we had to do chin-ups, monkey bars, and then a fight with the bugle sticks. So initially...
It's like Ninja Warrior.
So yeah,
it's almost like Ninja
similar.
Warrior, yeah.
And then, so I remember going... So I contacted this guy, which was down in Gosport, Don Styler's gym. It was a physical training centre, which had ropes, monkey bars, everything I needed for the training. So I used to travel 20 miles a day to go training down there. In the middle of winter, it's freezing. It's a long way to go as well. But Don helped me get through, get fit enough for the sort of the running side of things, as well as strength training. So I had to learn how to climb ropes, do the monkey bars, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's very calisthenic based, isn't it? It's very body weight calisthenic based.
It was good. And Don's gym was it was an old hospital in the Crimean War, so it was all made up of old car seats and a ghost down there and everything.
Bit of spitted sawdust, like. gritty gym.
Very
Yeah.
much so, yeah. Dumbbells would fall off the side as well. So Don introduced me into weights for the first time, really, and as well as like, you know, really getting strong for that rope climb. He had a 40-foot tower, which I had to climb up. And,
like almost like a fireman's tower.
Yeah, it was outside the gym, so I practiced climbing up and coming down, and the first time I just sort of slid down to all the skin off my stomach, but when you did the trial out with the gladiator, you had to come down one hand over the other as well. Is that you had specific rules. When you did your chin up, you had to pause at the top and pause at the bottom. Anyway, I started getting really fit for it. So I had my trial out at the Little Down Centre in Bournemouth, and when I got down there, it was these massive girls and guys, really muscle bound, and I almost ran away. I'm not going to stand a chance here, but fortunately the treadmill was the first part of the test, and a lot of the people that were muscle bound weren't very fast on their feet. Out of the 10 treadmills that were going, the first 10 would go off, and they'd tell you you have to do it at this speed or you're not going to make it. So luckily I got through, so my legs were going like the clappers, like tiny, but a lot of the more muscle bound people just didn't make it, so I had to wait quite a while for another lady to get through, because it was just mainly men getting through, and then eventually another lady got through, and we had a fight together. It was on the floor, we weren't on the podium, we had to put the helmets on, and the helmet was so big for me, we had to push some sponge up to take it off my eyes. So then we had a fight, and
was it just like combat with one of those bars?
It was those,
or was it just gloves?
Sticks, no, the pupil sticks, the big long things.
That's it. Yeah.
So, but we were on the ground, not on a podium, and so the girl that I was up against, she was kind of poking me with it, which was not right, because you kind of had to hit round. So they disqualified my opponent, and then they just said I wasn't aggressive enough. So I didn't get through to the next phase, which was a video phase, because I wasn't aggressive enough. But at the end of the day, I'm not a nasty person.
Too lovely.
I'm competitive, but I'm not nasty. So that was that. But Don, in the meantime, has said to me, "Why don't you consider bodybuilding?" And I said, "What, me? I'm tiny. Like, are you for real?" He said, "No, I think you'll do really well." Now, Don ran his own family run show, and he used to compete in it himself. So it was funny because his show was like a week later. So I dieted for a week and I competed. Didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Not much room to like prep or anything.
No, it was crazy. All I ate was tuna, mice and pineapple for a whole week. But I lost an inch off my waist, and I did the routine. There was only 3 of us, and needless to say, I was last. And but that was my first show, and from there, I sort of qualified for a British Championship, and of course, I sort of went to speak to people because I didn't know much about. I wasn't a trainer then, and I didn't really know much about the whole science of bodybuilding. So somebody helped me with my diet, so I dieted properly. I qualified for the British, and I ended up winning the British 5 times. But in that time, thank you, I did the usual, was 5th and 4th and 3rd, then won it. And then when you win the British, you get invited to the World Championships in the States. And so I eventually got my pro card. So I started, my first bodybuilding show was 1996, but it took me to 2005 to get my pro card. I mean, these days people seem to get their pro cards very easily.
Very easy.
You can compete one day and get it the next day. But I mean, it took me from
quite a few
9 years to get my pro card, but I worked hard, and I would always go back and get feedback on what do I need to work on, what do I need to improve on. One thing I hated was the posing, funnily enough.
I struggled a bit with the posing.
You can see how hard it is.
It's tough, it's difficult to actually nail it down and learn the transitions. And I can see how fluid you were and how you just nailed it down. It takes quite a bit of practice and training.
Does. I think I'm out of practice at the moment, but yeah, it's hard. And in fact, the day after your show, you feel like you've done a really hard workout with that posing. is hard work, particularly when they're switching people around and looking at.
So how many times do you actually pose then, or get on the podium and do it in a show?
Well, normally what they would do is bring you out. There might be 10 or 12 of you or whatever, and then you would all line up, and then the judges would decide. Normally, the people that they bring into the middle are normally first, second, and third. So they bring them into the middle, then they move them out to the side. They bring some others in and do all the comparisons. And then, that's how it works.
So they can kind of focus on the people on the middle.
Absolutely, but you've got to be posing all the time. Even if you're at the back and not at the front, you still have to kind of hold your pose. You don't just relax, because they're still looking at you. So, yeah, it's hard work.
How can they focus on so many bodies and people? There must be a good row of judges, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen like some of the men's category, the new board short guys. There'd be 21 people. They might even have to bring them into 3 different stages to sort of compare this group, that group. There's a lot now.
God, there's a lot of
there's so many different categories as well. It's
a lot that goes into it that I haven't really thought about when it comes to. Everyone just thinks you hop on a stadium or a show, and then you just turn up and they pick the guy who's the biggest and the best at posing. I think there's a lot of actual other preliminary work that goes into it.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. And I've seen guys that are my size beat guys as big as you. Yeah. And they always think that the taller guy is always going to win, but not necessarily. Yeah. So it depends really on your conditions. So you're marked on your muscularity, symmetry, and conditions. So it's a combination of all 3. So as I say, it's not always necessarily the tall guy that wins, although you always look much more impressive on stage than us shorties. Yeah, I think it's just a bigger object to see, isn't it? And you're more eye-catching because there's more of you. Yeah, absolutely. More presence, I think. Yeah. You know, so, but I think what I didn't like about the sport was it's very judgmental. So it can be somebody's opinion, and it can be a judge that thinks this particular lady's got a better physique over you, and 1 point will make a difference between whether you're first or second, for example. So
have you ever had a judge have it out for you and just not really like ever had a judge not like you or had it out? Or did you ever feel that way that
I don't think you ever really know that. And I think when I started dating a professional wrestler, one time I came second at competition. And at that particular time, I actually thought I deserved first because I felt I was in slightly more better condition than the number 1. But she was more muscular than me, so maybe she won because of that. Yeah. But I threw my trophy in the skip, and my boyfriend couldn't believe how he said, "Marina, some people don't achieve a medal in their life, and you just thrown that trophy in the skip." But for me, second wasn't good enough.
Well, there's a saying, isn't it? There's second is the first loser. So I get it.
So yeah, so
that's very competitive.
Yeah, that's it. It wasn't good enough. So from then, I got sponsored by a company called CMP. Was my first sponsor, and LA Muscle. They were brilliant too. And we were exhibiting at the Body Power show. And we had a strongman competition right next door to us on the stand. And I thought, do you know what? I know I'm quite strong for my size. I think I'm going to have a go at powerlifting. So when I came back home, I thought, right, I'm going to find a top coach. I want to get into powerlifting. Yeah. So I contacted a guy called Dean Bowring. He was a world champion himself down in Gosport. And he said, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to compete in powerlifting. He said,
it's amazing how many champions there are locally.
Yeah.
We're actually quite in a hot spot.
In all the different sports. Yeah. Totally. But I've always believed in, like, if you want to be the best, you have to go to the best coach as well, because otherwise you're not going to be the best yourself.
It rubs off on you then. All their good, all the things that they've learned eventually leaks into you.
Absolutely. Yeah. The same as, you know, I teach classes, and if I wasn't in good shape myself, I wouldn't expect people to maybe come to my class. Possibly,
no, that's exactly
if they thought maybe, oh, she doesn't look like she.
The worst thing you can
really
get he's a personal trainer who doesn't look like they train themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, we have to be what we represent. So your image, if you like, not that I'm vain, but your image is what you sell, because you're actually selling yourself.
Definitely, I 100% agree with that.
I've always wanted to be fit and strong, so I still run as well as do my strength powerlifting training. So I did my first competition powerlifting, and I nearly got disqualified the first competition, because I think you get so used to when you're training on your own, you're squatting and you put the bar back yourself.
Right.
But with powerlifting, there's a set of rules and disciplines, and you're not allowed to put the bar back yourself. So you're told to back, and the spotters help you put it back. And I step forward with my
and then they rack
put
it
it
with
back,
you. Yeah.
and I nearly got disqualified my first comp. So that was good. So I went on from there and progressed and pressed and got stronger and stronger. I mean, my best lifts has been at 42 kilos, which I am now, 126 kilo deadlift, which is nearly 3 times body weight, 85 and a half.
That is amazing. You know, that's like the, not 1%, that's the 0.1 of the 1%. If you can get 3x. So there's a lot of people online say, oh, I can get my 3x. And it's what people work towards on their squat, deadlift and bench.
Absolutely.
That is, that's the 1% of the 1%. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I think, you know, people look at me and think, oh, you know, she's not going to lift that, but it's nice to be prove that you can lift that. So
breaking reality. People looking like, what the hell?
And then 2014, I got my, it's called the Hall of Fame. So I've done well in my sport, and it's like you're an honorary member, so I never have to pay for my membership ever again, which is quite nice.
That's
cool. But I just need to go back to a tough time when I lost my mum in 2018. And I cared for mum for 10 years, and it was tough running my business as a trainer, caring for my mum, sorting her food and medication, making sure she was getting to hairdressers, organising taxis and caring for her. To lose my mum, I have to be careful, get really emotional. It was like a massive...
It's hard to keep on going with your dreams when the real things that matter to you, that are besides that, are happening to you.
And you know, our parents are precious, and Dad died 20 years before Mum, but I didn't live with them, so when you live with them it's so much harder. And I almost couldn't go back to the house for 3 weeks. Like, that person was no longer there, and then you're just kind of lost in yourself, because I used to have so much to do, to juggle with my job, looking after Mum, that suddenly you've got all this time and you don't really know what to do with it. And so for a year I came away from powerlifting. I decided I was going to pull a vehicle for Mummy for cancer research. Started training with a strong man in Southampton, Aaron Page, but then sadly the gyms got closed down. Aaron got COVID. He died at the age of 31, really tragic, lovely guy. And then so then we were in lockdown for 3 years, weren't we? So that was like, I had no equipment, so at home.
Same here, I lost all my equipment that was in the gym that I was training people at in my boot camp, and it really affects your work and clients, and you can't get on with your life, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I know how that feels, because I lost all my clients overnight.
It's horrible. It was a horrible time for personal trainers.
It was really bad. And then when you were able to buy equipment like Decathlon and everything was sold out, because everybody was doing, you know, either training people in the parks or whatever, and I didn't have anything, and you know, couldn't get hold of anything then. Everything was sold out, and so I lost like a lot of strength and power, and so I came away from the sport for like 5 years. And then it was only one of the head coaches that through social media contacted me and said, it's about time you step back on the platform, Marina. And I'm grateful for him contacting me, because I probably would have just drifted off and not gone back to powerlifting.
Sometimes it takes, isn't it, like another voice or an external person just to remind you of who you are.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I've had that before a few times in my life. When they said, "Come on, you are that guy.
Yeah.
Just get yourself together. I know who you are. You need to remember who you are."
So true.
It does take someone sometimes to really just kick you up the bum and get you back in gear. And I have to appreciate that as well. People have been out there for me.
Yeah, and I appreciate that you felt that and understood what that feels like too.
Yeah.
But to somebody to push you to getting back and remembering who you are and what you've already achieved. When did I go back? 3 years ago now. So I was British World and European Powerlifting Champion again, which was nice.
Back in the game.
Yeah, back in the game. Last year, sadly, I came second at the World Championships. Didn't have a very good experience in South Africa. One of the coaches sort of said, well, I knew I was against a strong New Zealander. Well, you're not going to win this competition, Marina, so you may as well just enjoy it. I thought, I haven't come here and spent £4,000 to just enjoy a competition. You know, the lady, she got her first squat in, but she missed her second and third. Had she'd missed her first, I would have automatically won because she would have gone. So I don't know why he said that to me. But it kind of left me very demotivated, quite upset. And I thought, if I spoke to my personal trainer clients like that, then I wouldn't if I said, you're not going to achieve that, so don't bother doing it, I don't think I'd have any clients. So I chose not to. I should be out there right now competing, but I chose not to go this year. So, but I'm excited next year. We've got the Europeans in Finland. Commonwealth is every 2 years, so we've got the Commonwealth in Canada. And then
you've got lots planned. You've got lots planned.
To try and afford it somehow. We need to get some sponsors. Yeah. So the gym in Winchester has been very good. They've given me £1,000 2 years on the trot. So, but whether I could risk asking another time, I don't know. And Piers Simmons Holmes gave me £1,000, so that was good. So it was, our sports cost us so much money, and with supplements, I've just got another sponsor for supplements, so it all helps because I've always been self-funded.
Otherwise, it just comes out of your income, and your quality of life diminishes if you're just constantly focusing on one goal. You have to sacrifice so much. People don't realize how much you sacrifice. Or even small, maybe like dinners away or having an outing with your friend. You have to budget and manage everything just to make sure you can hit your goals and competition in time. We don't realize how much it's actually needed.
Absolutely. And even with bodybuilding, when I was bodybuilding, particularly like when you get like I did and you're just competing, because when you're in the British and you get your pro card in the States, you don't normally come back to England to compete because you've done that. So it's always in the States. So
did they ask you to move to the States or anything like that? No.
I think if I was someone as big as Jay Cutler or something, then they might have sort of said, we'll pay for you to come over.
What happens once you get your pro card then? So is it like an official certificate, or is it like what actually is it?
You'll laugh, actually. Should have bought it. It's like this great big belt. It looks like a boxer's, weightlifting belt almost, like World Championship on it, and the trophy. And I think there was a little bit of money at the time. It wasn't an awful lot, but it costs us such a lot to your food,
to get there,
your fake tan, your bikini is $400, and the accommodation. Even bodybuilding is a lot of money these days.
Just to even get into it and have a chance.
I sorted my own food out and everything like that, and did my own meal preps. But people now use coaches that are doing daily check-ins as well as they might. And they don't really have much of a life. I think bodybuilders can become, that's why you can see people that are bodybuilders normally go out with another bodybuilder because they understand the sport, the discipline, how tough it is. And you have to have that support mechanism with you. Otherwise, you're not going to, do well because you're going to have somebody who wants to go out, maybe partying, and when you're just at home prepping your food all the time.
It's a way of life, isn't it? It's definitely a way of life. And you have someone who doesn't really understand what you're aiming for, it's so difficult to just even understand each other's lives.
Yes.
That's why you have to almost, if they're not into bodybuilding or training their body, you have to usher them into that world slowly.
Kind of try and convince them
to get
go
into
down that route themselves. Yeah. So yeah, it's a tough sport. And then, so I'm still competing now, so I'm hoping to go to those championships next year. We do get selected, so they always pick the people that they know.
What's the key dates then for people to keep an eye out for?
February is Finland for the World Masters Powerlifting Classic, so it means that we compete with no, super suits, if you like. Because I'm not an equipped lifter, I'm a raw lifter, so we're allowed knee sleeves, wrist straps and a belt. And, but we don't have those super suits, which people compete in the equipped competitions. So it's classed as classic, and the others are equipped competitions. And I just feel I couldn't compete equipped. I'd feel like it was cheating because they can add 30 kilos on some of your lifts. And it's a real...
It just compresses you and allows you to... It almost just like an elastic band, so it just allows you to lift harder, I guess.
Absolutely, but you can't get into the suits yourself. Somebody has to help you. You almost jump into it, And I've seen people get stuck in their singlets, and had to 4 people try to pull something off with somebody.
You've probably seen some scenes.
Yeah, I have. I remember the first competition. There was a lady. They used to put these plastic bags on their arms and then put the bench shirt on because they come out like this. But this lady couldn't get the plastic bag out and her arms started going purple. And she had to get on the platform and, lift. But it was just at the last minute she got it out. But I thought, I couldn't be doing with that.
It's a different world, isn't it?
And, the way a lot of the lifters are like boxers as well. They normally make cuts because they've got to make weight. Luckily, I'm always under my weight class of 47. I couldn't cope with this water loading and not being able to eat the day before.
Sauna suits.
Yeah, and then weighing in the morning, then eating all this food. And I couldn't lift anyway. I get 2 hours from weigh-in to when I'm the first one on the platform, normally being the lightest weight. And they start with the lightest weight category and then go up. Because they've obviously got to load the bar all the time. And so I just couldn't, they would eat a whole carrier bag full of food, so I just couldn't do that because you then got to put the belt on. And I just would sooner be underweight.
What do we put our bodies through when we do that?
Yeah, so I couldn't cope with that. It's stressful enough as it is.
So Finland, and then did you say you had another
Commonwealth.
one? Commonwealth.
Was it last year? The year before? Last year we had the Commonwealth and the World at the same time, which was good in one way because you didn't have to travel to 2 different places. But next year they've decided the Commonwealth in July in Canada, and then the Worlds will be in Nevada.
Wow, a little bit of a trip then.
I do wish to go there because my manager from Wichita has just gone back to Utah, so my hope is to go to Nevada, compete, and pop over and
visit
see him. A little trip. And see my ex-manager.
Oh, nice.
So that's
so quite a lot to look forward to next year then as well.
Yeah, just need to get some more sponsors or that's the plan.
Amazing. Thank you for telling me your story so far.
Thank you.
And I'm excited for you next year. I hope you do amazing. I know you will do amazing because you're doing so well so far anyway. And thank you for joining me and having me on.
I just want to encourage anybody to keep going, whatever sport you may be in, whatever sport you want to take up. I've just taken up shooting, absolutely loving it. I'm quite good at it, funnily enough. But never give up on your hopes. Be determined, be focused, always be the best. Keep training hard and you'll get there regardless. Never feel you're too old to take up any sport.
Amazing words, ending words. See guys, it can be done. You've given me a new hope to try and push for my dream. So thank you so much, Marina.
Thank you.